This video, which appears to show a Salisbury police K-9 handler fling his dog around for leaving a police cruiser.
Officer, you can hear me. Let me make sure I introduce myself. I'm Jerry Stokes. It's Jerry-Stokes. I'm the chief for the Salisbury Police Department. I'm here to provide a statement related to a video that was released regarding a K-9 training. The health and safety and well-being of Salisbury police officers, both human and K-9, is our top priority. The Salisbury Police Department is aware of a video that has been provided to the media depicting a Salisbury officer during a K-9 training, but we cannot comment on the details because it's an ongoing personnel matter. In accordance with policy, SPD's review of and response to the matter is and will continue to be thorough and fair so as to provide due process to everyone involved. SPD can confirm that as a matter of course, the officer has been administratively separated from the K-9 while SPD conducts its review. The K-9 was not harmed and is healthy and being well cared for. To ensure the integrity of the investigation of this matter, an outside agency has been charged with leading the inquiry. This agency is interviewing and reviewing the matter with identified experts in handling K-9s, including former handlers with other police departments, an owner of a police K-9 training firm, and of course our internal K-9 supervisory staff. While the matter is not complete, it has been determined that no taser was used on the dog at any point by anyone. Any allegation that occurred is false. It is important to understand that police K-9s are trained to use force against criminal suspects, and the handler must ensure that they have complete control over the dog at all times so that any use of the K-9 in the field is appropriate and lawful. When a K-9 is non-compliant with the handler's commands, the handler is trained to correct the dog. K-9 training tactics and corrective measures can sometimes be alarming when provided out of context. SPD cannot and will not comment about whether the training tactics used in the video were appropriate because it's still being reviewed. We are also making sure that we review our policies, procedures.
This video, which appears to show a Salisbury police K-9 handler fling his dog around for leaving a police cruiser. Well, now that officer's actions are under investigation and he's being separated from the K-9.
Fox 46 has worked to get answers from the police chief and city leaders about what exactly happened in that video, but the incident with
in their training of the K-9s and use of the K-9. Again, SPD's top priority is the health, safety, and well-being of its human and K-9 officers. The K-9 in this incident involved in this matter is safe. You can see him here today. Has suffered no effects from this incident, and the officer in this matter will be treated fairly and in accordance with our policy. I would like to request that everyone as the chief for the public to allow the police department's internal review of this matter to finish before drawing any conclusions. That is our statement at this time. I'm sorry I'm not able to take any further questions. Again, the K-9's name is Zool. He's here today. You can see him. He's healthy, doing well, and will be in service as normal in the near future.
Can you spell the K-9's name, please?
Sure. It's Z-U-U.
Can you confirm if Officer Hampton was the officer involved?
I can't make any further statements regarding this. Thank you.
How many K-9s does Salisbury Police have? Is this the only one? When did the incident happen, Chief? How was your office made aware? Is the officer seen in the video the only one under investigation, or are there others?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Madison Bell. Today we're going to talk about a touchy topic and the K-9 community. And before we talk about that, let's talk about K-9s. So, majority of the dogs that are in the public that people own are, I'm going to say, they're ordinary. You have levels of dogs. You have your low levels, you got your mid levels, you got your sub mid levels, and you got your extremes, right? 99% of police canines that are imported are extreme dogs. They have to be handled with a little bit more power than what you do with a pet dog. So you can go back probably, I want to say 50 years. Training's been done. Training has evolved a lot. A lot of the old methods still are being taught in a lot of the departments. They haven't really gone away from them. They've been passed down. And a lot of these methods that you see with canine handlers are old methods. They're use of control, restrain to dominate the dog. Now, if you move forward, it's 2021. Everybody has cell phones. Everybody's cell phones have cameras, and they get to see a lot of these old methods, and they're appalled by them because a lot of these things were done behind, closed doors, and there was no cameras and things like that. So to understand it is to understand that 90% of your canine handlers don't know that do these methods, and I don't think their intentions are to be abusive to the dogs. These are just methods that were taught to them, and they use them on their dogs. And I'm not condoning or saying the officers was wrong or saying they were right. I'm just saying these are methods that are taught, that were passed down. And now that everybody has cameras, you see these methods and people are appalled by them, right? So it's like the sin of the father. If the father abuses his mother in front of his son for 18 years, the son ended up using his wife, it trickles down. A lot of these methods I think are outdated. I think they should be changed. I think we should add in new blood into the training environment. A lot of the sport trainers are pretty good at training a lot of these high-powered dogs, and I think a lot of the handlers don't get enough education when it comes to handling these high-powered dogs. I mean, these courses are at max, 3 months, and a lot of these handlers have never owned their own high-powered dog themselves, and then we take this missile, we put it in their hands and say, you control it, good luck, right? So I think the selection process for canine handlers should be a little bit more in depth. I think that the handler should get a lot more training on how to handle these dogs without having to use a lot of physical pressure. Now, I will add, when you're dealing with these type of dogs, physical pressure is going to come into play. If you've never ever stood in front of one of these high-powered dogs before, you have no idea. You have no idea. And I'm gonna say 90% of civilians have never seen these type of dogs, these breeds. These dogs are genetically bred to be high-powered lions, right? And these dogs can kill you in a heartbeat. They can rip off your arm. They can fucking punch through you like a 22. So this stuff is important to put in context when you're looking at these videos and you're thinking, oh, these officers are ill-trained or these dogs are being massively abused. And I'm going to say again, I don't condone the training. I think there's better ways to do it. But again, when you're dealing with these high-powered dogs, you better have a plan in action, because if not, you're going to be being videotaped doing this to the dog, trying to control it. Okay, so let's take that into account when we go through the videos. No one's been proven innocent or guilty of these crimes, even though you see the video. But their training tactics, a lot of the upper echelon in these departments will not speak on the matters, because they know that these tactics are being taught every day, and they condone these tactics and they've approved them in their policies. But now once it comes to light, they want to separate themselves from them without having to trying to not throw the handler under the bus. But eventually they will throw the handler under the bus. But it's hard to discipline someone that a tactic that was shown to them by a trainer in their department that showed that tactic and passed it down to the next handler, and he does these tactics, and then when someone records it, then everybody's appalled, right? Everybody gets canceled. So the first thing we need to start with is who's training these dogs, because the handlers don't train these dogs. And I keep telling people that. People keep saying, I'm gonna go see a canine handler to help me train my dogs. They don't train dogs, okay? They do training with their dog. Their dog is trained by a trainer, and the trainer helps the handler manage their dogs. That is where you have to fix the root of the problem before you start blaming the handler, because he's being taught this is how you're going to handle the dog, and then he does it, and then it was recorded, and then people are complaining about it. So If you feel that the dogs in your department or the dogs in any department are being treated unfairly or not being handled properly, you need to start with the training department. That's where this starts at, okay? If the trainers in there have lack of experience or education, or they're doing old school methods and they haven't really went to any seminars and learned better ways to train dogs, we need to start there. We need to re-educate our trainers and then do some different, more up-to-date methods on training dogs. So as you go through these videos, you'll see, and then you're going to have your own opinion. Again, like I said, before you can judge, you need to understand where all this stuff comes from and the beginning of it, and then you can rechange that. Then we can move forward in the progress. So you guys watch. There's some graphic videos. If you don't want to see graphic, don't watch it. If you want to understand in the canine world how some of the things that are going on, then it's up here for you. All right, you guys have.
And what happened back on June 15th, and Jack, this is going to be disturbing to a lot of people to see this.
You know, guys, it's disturbing and, to be quite honest, extremely shocking. This is the relationship most are used to seeing between a handler and his dog. But on the night of June 15th, the love and respect gave way to abuse. And a warning, the video you're about to see is very graphic. Now, the man seen here in the orange cap is Ramsey County K-9 handler Brett Berry. Surveillance cameras outside the Black Bear Casino in Carlton were rolling when Berry appears to pick up and slam his service dog to the ground. The dog, that neighbors tell Fox 9 is named Boone, then takes off running but gets stuck trying to get back here in the casino. Berry then approaches and appears to scold and repeatedly strike the dog in the doorway. It's a scene that investigators say they never thought possible.
I haven't seen a canine handler assault anybody, or no.
That is totally shocking, and I don't really believe it. I don't know what happened. I didn't see there, but that's really surprising.
Neighbors of Berry say he and Boone were inseparable, and the allegations of abuse just don't make any sense. The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office has put Deputy Berry on paid administrative leave while the investigation unfolds. In a statement, they said, quote, "We hold our staff to the highest standards, and the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office is troubled by these allegations," end quote. In the meantime, Berry's dog has been taken away. Now, the 18-year veteran is facing two
Rockland police officers are out of a job and facing charges of animal cruelty. The Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife says Addison Cox and Michael Rollerson were charged last Friday with aggravated animal cruelty and night hunting. The Village Soup is reporting that they allegedly beat porcupines to death with a police baton.
And a police officer on leave after he was busted abusing a canine unit. No, that's not Cesar Milan showing off a new dog training tip. That's a Hammond police officer without a clue that he's about to become internet infamous. It was a routine traffic stop. Police employed a canine unit to sniff out the vehicle for drugs. After nothing was found in the search, the officer rewarded the dog with a ball. The officer then lost his patience when the dog refused to give up said ball.
Is you fucking holding that dog up? Look at him. Look at him. What's he doing? Look at him. He's whipping that fucking dog. Told you these motherfuckers be on some bullshit. Dog taking shits and pisses and shit. Look at him. Get me out of here. Ow! Ow! Hey, don't you damage anything. This is my car. Look, you are not both know it ain't no. Fuck is you fucking holding that dog up? Look at him. Look at him. What the fuck is he doing? Look at him. He's whipping that fucking dog. Look at him. Sorry, Dave. You just gonna have to. You see that shit? Look at his ass. He was just lifting that fucking dog by his fucking collar up in the fucking air and whipping his ass with the fucking thing. The leash. Ain't that some fucking shit? Wow.
What's up?
Top people on their way to another part of Plymouth to help search for a suspect. Why the dogs decided to suddenly start biting the hand that literally fed it might never be known. A firefighter hosed down the pavement in this parking lot in Plymouth where the incident took place. Officer Keith Larson had pulled his cruiser into this parking lot to get his dog Nico ready for suspect tracking, when for some reason the dog turned on the officer, biting his hands and refusing to let go.
It appeared that his hand and up his arm, it looked like he had some injury there to his hand.
The police chief says eventually Officer Larson used his gun to shoot and kill the German Shepherd.
It happened near his cruiser. I don't think it lasted more than, I'm guessing, 30 to 45 seconds, which is a long time.
And Nico had worked together for about 1.5 years. He says the dog had bitten the officer once before and so was sent back into training, then given the okay last summer to return to duty. Tonight, Officer Larson is at South Shore Medical Center recovering from the bite wounds to his hands. The police chief says he might be released from the hospital as soon as tonight. Live in Plymouth, David Beanick, WCVB News Center 5.
There's an officer punching his own canine partner. The video is hard to watch and has many questioning the canine handler.
It was like the dog was crying. The dog was crying like somebody was running him over or something like that. It was bad crying.
Roberto Palomino was on his way to work Monday morning when he heard a dog crying and recorded this video, which is hard to watch. A Vacaville police officer is sitting on the dog. Police say the officer was doing routine training in the back parking lot of a Vacaville fire station.
Before the video, at least I saw him giving at least 10 punches to the dog.
Vacaville Police Captain Matt Lydon says as part of training, the handler had rewarded the canine with a toy.
The handler trying to obtain the toy, the dog became angry with the handler and lunged in an attempt to bite the handler. Thank goodness that did not happen.
Was this necessary, though? Many are asking.
Well, I'm not prepared to speak to anything that I did not observe myself.
Renee Lancaster is a retired police officer with 22 years of canine handling experience. She's trained police dogs for 15 law enforcement agencies across the Bay Area.
Personally, I can't imagine having to get to that extent where you'd have to sit on your dog and punch it when I couldn't even see the dog moving.
Captain Lydon says the handler in this video has been a law enforcement officer for 11 years, but is only a few months into the 6-month canine training program.
The canine handler placed the dog in a position of dominance, which is common in police canine training.
Palomino says it didn't seem like training, and that's why he recorded the video.
He was straight up beating the dog on the face, and I was like, this is...